Good morning, everybody. Barkade Bites and Lomentini lit up, and here's what I am lit up about today. I know we've previously talked about 13 years, how long it's taken me to get to where this is going, 13 years. But the reason, there's a couple of reasons for that. But the primary reason, let's just be honest, is that there were some obstacles in the way that I just couldn't get past. I call it success suicide. I know a lot of you out there can relate to this. Success suicide. You know, you get so far. Your body and your mind and your emotions and all about you are so used to one way of life. And if that's failing, or if that's just being status quo, or you just are stuck in a certain spot and you just don't know how to get past that, you will find a way to successfully suicide your progress. And I've done it so many times over those 13 years that I try not to get down on myself and feel bad, because look where I am. Look where we are 13 years later, and we're so close to the prize and so close to the next chapter of my life and the next chapter of Barkade. But it didn't get there without the help of others. And that's the key of what I'm trying to tell you right now. And I do truly believe that God will speak to you through other people. And I am a true Christian, and I believe in Jesus, and I continue to develop my relationship with him. And a lot of times people say, you know, I reach out to God, I try to find out why I'm doing the things I'm doing, why I continue to do the things that I'm doing, why I continue to fail, why I can't get what I want. But maybe you need to work on that relationship, because I've developed that relationship, and I have to thank my wife, Stacy, for allowing that kind of relationship to develop for me. Because you can't develop for somebody. They have to develop it and find it on their own. But I kept coming across these obstacles or moments, or I'm on the verge of, I've got this success of, I'm almost there, and you find a way to mess it up. I've probably done it 6 different times over the past 13 years where I thought Barkade should be further along. But it's not in God's timing. It wasn't meant to be. But at this time now, I'm wiser because of those experiences, and I seeked out help because God was speaking through me, or to me through somebody else. And I truly believe when you have that relationship with Christ, you can hear things that you normally don't hear. You're so much more aware of what's being said to you, what's being spoke to you, what's being delivered to you. In the past, because I'm all on my own, I can do it by myself, I can handle this on my own. And that's pretty much why I was on the road for 7 years like a gypsy by myself, because I didn't know how to cultivate it and develop it with other people. Other than, you know, the great things that we did do over those 7 years, where we, you know, involved hair salons, and we involved hair schools, and we involved animal rescues, and we developed these amazing events across the country. You know, those events came together because of other people. But as far as where Barkade and where Patrick was going, Patrick was on his own because he was trying to do everything himself. Because there were limitations within my own thinking. And that's the key. Our limited thinking causing our own success suicide. So living here in Franklin, Tennessee, a lot of things have developed over the last 4 years. My relationship with God, my beautiful wife, being married to her, and it's been a blessing beyond, I can't even describe it. But getting into real estate and various other things, there was a gentleman that crossed my path, and we just hit it off right away. And we met through odd circumstances. During the pandemic, I went to work at Sam's to stay busy late at night by stalking. And then I met a man who knew a man, because he heard I was going to be doing real estate. And he goes, you need to reach out to my buddy, Greg Pease. And I did, and we became social media friends. And then one thing led to another. And he got into something which I've always have been interested in, and actually have been exposed to it through other avenues like Tony Robbins, Jed Beal, you know, Jim Rome, you know, neuro-linguistic programming. And it sounds scary. And it sounds odd, and it sounds kind of, you know, like, what's this all about? But it's just another way and a clearer way to communicate with yourself and move yourself beyond your limited beliefs. Everybody calls it something different. Some people call it limited beliefs. You know, John Acuff calls it old soundtracks, you know, and you got to break those old soundtracks to get to the new soundtracks and live a different way and a better way for yourself. But and it's not as easy as it sounds. It's like, oh, I'll just throw that record away, the old soundtrack, and throw a new one in, you know. But those limited beliefs have caused you to live a certain way, right? And you're used to living that certain way. And there's a great song by Carolina Liar, and it's called "Show Me the Way." And in that song, there's a lyric called, "I'm so used to the abuse, I don't know another way." I probably got the lyric a little bit wrong, but what he's trying to say is we're so used to living a life of abuse, a life of negativity, a life that we are programmed. It's not so easy to say, I just put in a new soundtrack and I'm just going to be on my way and I'll be just fine. I'll start there. But have you ever noticed that you go to these, and that's another point too. Over the years, I've gone to all these different motivational, seminars and stuff like that. And you get so hyped up. And then another week later, you're right back to the same routine that you were, because they didn't give you the tools. They got you hyped. They got you hyped to say, hey, you know, could do this. Even Tony, I've been to Tony's stuff all the time. You jump up and down, you clap your hands, you do that, you know, but not to take anything away from it. That's not what I'm trying to say. But the tools to do so. So I met Greg, and then when he really got in, he spent 6-8 weeks in Las Vegas doing NLP training and just diving in deep. Because Greg, you know, I hope you guys get to know his story. And I'll show you some information I'll put over here. Motivation, discipline, and commitment. It's pretty simple. Go to his website if you ever get a chance, gregpease.com. I'll put it on the screen, gregpease.com, and he will help you transform your life from a life of success, suicide, to a life of success. We sit down, and I happen to be one of his first victims. And it was pretty amazing, because you dive really deep into this timeline therapy. You think of yourself as a child as early as you can remember, all the way until you're older. And you start looking at the various things that cause trauma in your life, yet you never get over them. And when something triggers you as an adult, you know, you refer back to that trauma, and then you just never get past what you're doing. And that was where a lot of my struggle was for Barcade. It's like, where am I going with this? Why do I continue to fail? And I thought I was going to do Barcade in Philadelphia along the way. I thought it was going to be Tampa, Florida. I thought it was going to be Las Vegas. I looked at all types of Wichita, Kansas, where back home where I'm from. And none of it worked because I didn't have the right people around me, and I didn't have the right mindset. And Barcade truly wasn't ready. Barcade is not ready because Patrick wasn't ready. And that's the key right there, is how are you ready? There's a pastor out there, Joyce Meyer, and one of the only things that, well, she says a lot of things, but one of the things that it stuck with me, is that we're always praying for something. But are you praying? This is the best part. We're always praying for something, but are you ready for it when it happens? We're always praying for something, but are you praying to be ready for it? And had Barcade happened earlier in my life, I wasn't ready for it, even though I thought I was ready for it. And Barcade would have probably fizzled out. And the whole dream of the Barcade Music Festival and having the big thing across the country and doing all these things for people and raising money and being connected to some amazing people in the music industry would have never happened. It may have happened, but I wasn't ready for it, and it probably wouldn't have worked out. But now I feel like I have the tools and the know-how and the right people around me for this to happen properly and keep it grounded. It's like this. I want to make this analogy for you real quick. And I'm sorry if it sounds amateur, but this is the analogy. Let's say I don't know how, I want to dig a hole, but I don't know how to dig this hole. I have a tree and I have grass and a lawn, but I don't know how to dig a hole. I've never dug a hole before. I don't have tools to dig a hole, but this guy comes across the street and says, hey buddy, you want me to help you dig a hole? I'm like, yeah, I've never done a hole before. So he says, I have tools that allow me to dig a hole for you, and I can show you how to dig a hole. First, you need this tool, you need this tool, and you need that tool, and you do this and that. Now you got a hole. Now I've learned how to do a hole, dig a hole. I know that sounds so simple, but it's the case. Let me point this out. I don't know how to enjoy the success that I have achieved. And I tend to find a way to hold back. Why? Because I've never had the success that I am about to receive. I've had successes along the way, all the little victories and all the little things along the way, but the big successes that are coming at me, I want to be ready for those because I've been praying for those, but I want to make sure I have the proper tools to know what I'm doing with it. So that's why there's guys like Greg Pease in my life, guys like Alex, guys, my wife, a ton of other people that I could list out here, Win Clayball, Vernon Clayball, all these various people that have helped me along the way have the tools, have the understanding of what I'm doing and where I'm going with it, and supporting. So that's the roadblocks there. So if you ever get a chance to go to Greg Pease and check out his website, what he's doing with the motivation, discipline, commitment, he can transform you. I'm going to get to dive in a lot deeper with him, but I just wanted to share that with you as far as where Barcade is going and the success of Barcade, because, he gave me some tools that I knew I had them. And that's why I kind of felt like a nice transition, because I knew they were there. I knew I had the tools, but I didn't know how to use those tools. Or maybe, quite frankly, maybe I was afraid to use those tools because I didn't know where I was going to go with them. Because I think we get we get so caught up in only feeling and understanding where we are or where we've been, that making that next step to go somewhere else is too scary. So I'd rather stay right where I'm at. Like that song says, I've been so used to the abuse, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how to get there. So someone show me the way. So I have beautiful people in my life that are showing me the way to get to where I'm going. Greg has introduced me to Catherine Burkhardt. Catherine Burkhardt is going to introduce me to some amazing people in Columbia, Tennessee. I may have let the cat out of the bag, but I believe that's where I'm 99% sure Barcade Music Festival is going. And, other people have been in my life that I'm looking forward to talking to today on the phone that are actually going to help us get there further. So, guys, don't be afraid to succeed. Don't have success suicide. Find the right people, surround yourself with the right people, find the tools, implement the tools, and don't be afraid to move forward.